Nora cut him off sharply. Food is not the priority, pacing like a whirlwind. Life after the wedding doesn't also matter, Fred. This is our moment. You will see. The photos, the guests, the memories will last forever. Just say yes. Hello, we need more rice. But rice has finished, sir. We just delivered the last rice. So what is the plan B because guests are still coming? There is no plan B, sir. The couples only paid 700,000 naira for the food and that is what we delivered. Nora sat on the edge of the sofa, her fingers swiping frantically through wedding hall photos on her phone. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she whispered, "Fred, this is it. This hall. This is where we'll make history." Fred, sitting at the kitchen table surrounded by bills, calculators and receipts, looked up, his face pale. "Nora, it's beautiful, yes. But have you seen the cost? We might not even afford the catering if we book this place." Nora waved her hand dismissively. "Fred, stop worrying about money for a second. This isn't just a wedding. It's our wedding. A lifetime memory. Everyone will remember it. The photos, the decorations, the cake. Everything has to be perfect. People will talk if it isn't perfect." Fred rubbed his temples. He loved Nora, but her obsession with perfection had been growing every day. She didn't care about finances, about post-wedding realities, or even whether they would have money left for rent or groceries. The wedding was everything: their status, their image, their moment in the spotlight. Nora jumped up, holding her phone high. "Look at this. Fireworks. A live band. A 5-tier designer cake. And the car. A luxury car for our getaway. Don't you want everyone to remember us?" Fred exhaled sharply. "Yes. But Nora, we need to think about life after the wedding. The bills, the food, the apartment." Nora cut him off sharply, pacing like a whirlwind. "Life after the wedding doesn't matter, Fred. This is our moment. You will see. The photos, the guests, the memories will last forever. Just say yes." Fred hesitated. Her eyes, gleaming with anticipation, left no room for negotiation. He gave in. "Fine, we'll book it," he muttered. Nora squealed in delight and threw herself at him. "Yes, you'll thank me later, Fred. Everyone will talk about this wedding for years. Just wait and see." Over the next week, Nora sat at the kitchen table, compiling the guest list. Invitations had to go out immediately, she insisted. Friends from school, colleagues, distant relatives, neighbors, and even casual acquaintances. Everyone had to attend. Fred flipped through the list, incredulous. "Nora, this is almost 2,000 people. The hall only seats 500. And the food. Food is not the priority," she said sharply. "If even one person isn't there, it'll ruin everything. They'll talk. They'll judge. We have to impress them all." Fred sighed. "Nora, we're barely keeping up financially as it is. Maybe we should cut some names or adjust the menu." "Well, the moment has to look perfect. Forget the money. People will remember the experience, not our bank balance." Weeks passed, and the wedding preparations became chaotic. Nora wanted everything meticulously perfect. Flowers had to be fresh, exotic, and arranged in towering centerpieces. The cake had to have 5 tiers, edible flowers, gold leaf, and a sugar-crafted replica of their initials on top. The band had to play both classical and contemporary hits. Fred attended meeting after meeting with various vendors. Each meeting ended with new stress. The florist called, saying the lilies had wilted and some had to be replaced at extra cost. The cake designer sent a message that the top tier wouldn't arrive on time. The live band called, saying their main equipment had broken, and a substitute might need to play. Nora refused to listen to Fred's suggestions to simplify things. "Fred, stop being a killjoy. This is our wedding. No compromises." Fred rubbed his forehead. "Nora, the budget is spiraling out of control. We might not even afford the food and drinks for all the guests." Nora waved him off. "Food, money, bills. None of that matters. What matters is how this day will be remembered. Are you listening to me?" Fred could only stare, realizing that Nora's dream had transformed into obsession, a pursuit of perfection that might crash down on both of them. The night before the wedding, Fred sat alone in the dimly lit living room, staring at their dwindling bank account. Bills stacked up beside him. The caterers hadn't confirmed the menu. Some flowers hadn't arrived. The sound system had delayed delivery. He whispered under his breath, "How did we get here?" Upstairs, Nora twirled in her designer dress, her reflection flawless in the mirror. She adjusted her hair and makeup, taking selfies for Instagram. "Fred, tomorrow everyone will see us. They will be amazed. This will be the most beautiful wedding ever." Fred stared at her from the stairs, worry and dread consuming him. He knew the dream she had built might collapse spectacularly, but Nora was blissfully unaware. The sun rose. Guests began arriving, and the hall looked like a scene from a movie. Chandeliers sparkling, flowers in full bloom, and soft music floating through the air. But behind the scenes, the caterers were rushing frantically. Several dishes were missing. The drinks were running out faster than anticipated. Some of the floral arrangements had wilted in the sunlight. The photographer realized a crucial lens had malfunctioned. Fred noticed everything. His stomach knotted with anxiety. "This is going to go wrong. Can feel it." Nora floated through the hall, greeting guests with a radiant smile, oblivious to the chaos. "Isn't it perfect, Fred?" she asked. Fred swallowed hard. "It's beautiful," he replied, but a deep dread had settled in his chest. Just as the ceremony was about to begin, the main course was delayed by the caterers. The band's sound system failed mid-prelude. Several guests whispered in concern about missing drinks and unfinished decorations. Nora's eyes widened, panic and disbelief crossing her face for the first time. Fred grabbed her hand. "Nora, I warned you." The guests started noticing minor issues. Some tables were missing tablecloths, some guests were seated without menus, and the live band was fumbling. The perfect wedding Nora envisioned was beginning to unravel in real time. Nora frozen in shock. Fred tense and worried. Guests murmuring, some pulling out phones to record the chaos. And then, as the band attempts to play the first song for the couple's entrance, the lights flicker and part of the ceiling decoration collapses slightly. Guests within the area stands up, shouting, "My head, oh." Fred whispers, This is it. The dream wedding is starting to fall apart." Nora's face pales, realizing that perfection has a cost, and that the night she imagined for so long might turn into the most memorable disaster of her life. The hall gleamed with decorations, chandeliers sparkling, and soft music filling the air, a scene Nora had imagined for months. But perfection was a thin veil over chaos. The caterers were running frantically, trying to keep up with the orders. Lobster trays had been delayed, salads went missing, and the pasta had cooled. Drinks spilled onto polished floors as waiters tried to navigate the crowded tables. Guests whispered, frowned, and pulled out phones, capturing the perfectly imperfect wedding. The murmurs grew louder. "Didn't she promise lobster? This is ridiculous. Why is the band struggling? The music is awful." Nora floated through the chaos, radiant in her designer gown, greeting guests. But Fred saw the tension, the faint panic in her eyes as she noticed the disapproving glances. The centerpiece of the evening, the 5-tiered designer cake, arrived late. It was slightly off-center, and as the couple prepared for the cake-cutting photo, the top tier began to tilt dangerously. Gasps echoed through the hall. A photographer yelled, "Step back! The cake's falling." Nora froze. No, this can't be happening." Fred grabbed her hand. "It's okay, Nora. Just stay calm. We'll fix it." A waiter rushed over, trying to stabilize the cake, but a slight jolt sent the top tier sliding, knocking over a floral centerpiece. Guests screamed, some laughing nervously, some in shock. The perfect wedding was now a viral moment of disaster. By this time, guests were openly discussing the chaos. Phones recorded spilled drinks, collapsed decorations, and confused waiters. Within minutes, these clips were posted online, spreading rapidly. Comments started flowing. "This wedding is a disaster." Faced with tears of joy. "She spent thousands and this is what we get." "Imagine inviting 2,000 guests and forgetting food and drinks." Nora's hands shook as she saw the posts. "Fred, everyone is laughing at us. They're recording everything." Fred placed a hand on her shoulder. "Nora, this isn't the end. We can still salvage the night. Don't focus on the posts. Focus on each other." Nora looked at him, tears forming. The reality hit her. All the obsession, all the spending, and all the planning hadn't prevented embarrassment. Suddenly, a candle on one table caught the tablecloth. Smoke filled the air as a few guests screamed. "They want to burn us with fire too." Waiters rushed to extinguish the small fire. Panic rippled through the hall. Fred pulled Nora close. "We have to stay calm. Don't panic the guests." Nora's voice trembled. I just wanted everything to be perfect. I didn't think it would go this wrong." Fred hugged her. "You wanted perfection. But sometimes reality doesn't bend to your dreams. That's not the end of the world. It's a lesson." After the chaos subsided, Nora and Fred retreated to a quieter corner. The adrenaline was gone, replaced with exhaustion. Nora collapsed onto a chair. "Fred, I ruined everything. The flowers, the cake, the band, the guests. It's all a disaster. People will never forget this. And not in a good way." Fred sat beside her. "Nora, look at me. Yes, things went wrong. But it's not the end. You wanted a perfect day. And it's impossible to control everything. The lesson here is about perspective." Nora shook her head. "I just wanted to be remembered. I wanted everyone to see us as perfect." Fred smiled gently. "The truth is, no one remembers perfection. They remember authenticity, love, and resilience. You still married me in front of friends and family. That's what matters." Nora's tears fell freely. For the first time she felt relief, acceptance, and clarity. After the initial chaos, the guests began to relax. Some laughed about the spilled drinks. Others complimented the effort and the beautiful couple. A few commented online saying, "It may have been chaotic, but it was memorable. Love and laughter over perfection." Nora realized that the wedding she had envisioned, flawless and picture-perfect, wasn't necessary. What mattered was connection, love, and shared joy. Even some of the social media posts that mocked the disaster ended up highlighting the couple's grace under pressure. Her followers began sending messages. "It looked messy, but you handled it so well. Your wedding felt real, unlike all those staged events online." The next morning, Fred and Nora faced the bills. The extravagant spending had drained their savings. Invitations, decorations, food, and last-minute fixes had cost far more than expected. Nora looked at Fred, worried. We'll be okay, won't we?" Fred smiled faintly. "It'll be tight, but yes." Nora, realizing she had chased perfection instead of reality. "I focused on showing off instead of enjoying the day. I forgot what truly matters." Fred held her hand. "Exactly. You wanted a wedding everyone would remember, but you almost forgot the reason for the wedding. our love and life together. Nora posted a final reflection on Instagram. The caption read, "Our wedding didn't go perfectly. Flowers wilted, the cake collapsed, and chaos took over. But I realized something important. Love, laughter, and the people we care about matter more than perfection. Life isn't about showing off. It's about living, loving, and learning." #real love, #life lessons, #wedding disaster. The post went viral for all the right reasons. People praised her honesty and vulnerability. Comments poured in. "This is the most relatable wedding story ever. Perfection is overrated. Real love is what matters. Thank you for showing that life isn't perfect, and that's okay." Weeks later, Fred and Nora sat on their couch, looking at their wedding photos. The chaotic ones, the imperfect ones. Nora laughed, tears in her eyes. "I thought the wedding had to be flawless, but these photos, they tell the story of us. And it's beautiful." Fred kissed her forehead. "Exactly. You wanted perfection, but you got real life. And real life is better." Nora smiled, finally understanding that perfection is an illusion. Life's beauty lies in imperfection, love, and resilience. And so Nora woke up realizing she had been dreaming all these while.